So you're thinking about moving to Bothell, Washington. Well, stick around because in this video, we're going to jump into my computer here. We're going to cruise around Bothell in Google Maps. I'm going to show you where Bothell is at in the state, as well as where it's at in proximity to some of the larger cities here in the King County area, Bellevue and Seattle, what those drive times look like. Dig in a little bit more on what the attractions are, the restaurants, the shopping centers in Bothell as well, and really just give you kind of a bird's eye view of what it's like to live in Bothell, Washington. So stick around because we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure that you click that bell for notifications, and of course subscribe, because we come out with videos every week highlighting the cities that we love most here in the King County area, and we don't want you to miss those. My name is Derek Decatur, one of the owners here at the Decatur Home Group, and we get calls, texts, and emails every day from people just like you, wanting a little bit more information on what it's like to live in King County, or possibly just planning ahead and to make that move into the King County area. So if you're 1 day away, or if you're 1 year away from moving, we are here to make that move as smooth as possible. So please make sure that you message us, DM us, text us, or click that link below to schedule a call. Happy to do that. Jump on and talk to you a little bit more about what your goals are and see if something in King County is a good fit for you. All right, here we are. We are in the computer, good old Zoom. We're going to jump into Google Maps here, and I'm going to kind of go through this in a few different little blocks, if you will. So first, just want to show you the big picture, where we're at, some drive times, give you a sense of location in the state of Washington and in King County itself. After that, we'll jump into Bothell, kind of look around Bothell a little bit, show you what's in Bothell, because that's where your hub's going to be, obviously, if you're living there. And then we'll kind of look at some of the neighborhoods that we'll be touring on the vlog as well, so you can get a sense of where those are at in relationship to everything else that we've already touched on. So here we go. Let's jump in. Like I said, first, let's just kind of zoom out a little bit and see where Bothell is at. So we've got Seattle here, we've got Bellevue over here. You can see all my little marks here that we've made through some other of these map videos all in this King County area. If we zoom out even farther, you can get a feel for where we're at inside of Washington. So you've got your Cascade Mountains here, over to the east, we call that Eastern Washington. And then of course, over here in the west, we are Western Washington, but within Western Washington, east of Seattle is kind of the east side is what it's referred to. So here we are in Bothell, in King County, right up at the top, right up at the north of Lake Washington here, right? So you got Lake Washington here. You've got Lake Sammamish over in that Sammamish, Issaquah, and Redmond area, as well as Bellevue, kind of going through all three of those. But as you can see, just from a location standpoint, it's in a pretty prime spot to get anywhere in the state, because you have 405 that runs right through you. You've got the 522 there as well. And if you really wanted to jump up on that 5, you could go up 405, jump on the 5, and get north or south very quickly. So easy in and out. But as I talk about in the pros and cons video too, that's a pro and a con to some extent, because during rush hour, things can get a little hectic in there, depending on where you're going. But let's look at some drive times here. All right, so let's look at, let me zoom out. Oh, first I have to get rid of that. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can just kind of see where we're going. And I'm gonna move that up to the north there. All right, so if we kind of take this intersection here of 405 and 522 as our starting spot, we can go all the way down 405 and get into Bellevue in, depending on traffic, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe a little bit shorter if there's no one coming, if traffic's very light. But you're typically looking kind of that 15 to 20 minute mark into Bellevue. To get into Seattle, you've got lots of options. It really is just going to depend on the traffic during that day. 522 all the way to 5, take that south. You can go 405 and then jump on the 520, take the bridge across Lake Washington. You can go all the way down 405 to 90 and then hop over that way as well. They're all fairly comparable, assuming traffic's fairly similar. You're looking at your 25, 30 minutes to get into Seattle as well. Okay, if we were going to go all the way down to the airport, for instance, we would typically just take 405 all the way down through Renton, and that's going to pop us out right here at SeaTac. And that's going to, that's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be about 45 minutes. And that's typically the route you would go. I wouldn't necessarily suggest going through 522 to 5 and then going through Seattle, as there's typically going to be a little bit more traffic through downtown Seattle as well. So that's kind of your Bellevue, Seattle, SeaTac, airport drive times. But some other cool things about Bothell and just this whole King County area in general too is, we've obviously got the ferries as well to jump on. So if you were to go to Edmonds, you can catch the ferry right here and cruise on over to the San Juan Islands. And getting to the ferry is just a 25-minute drive. So it's a pretty cool little thing that you can do anywhere in King County and in Washington, but you're fairly close there in Bothell. The other one we've got in terms of attractions, if you will, or places to go, places that people frequently will visit is going to be down here in Redmond, Lake Sammamish, and Marymoor is going to be the main hub when you're north of Lake Sammamish. So if you just jumped on the 405 and then you would take 520 right to Marymoor, and Marymoor is a very cool spot. I'll show you that. We'll jump into there a little bit more here in a second. But dog parks, baseball fields, soccer fields, there's just it's massive, and there's tons and tons to do. It's just a very cool park that's right there on the lake, and that's, like I said, gonna be about 25 minutes. That will kind of take care of your main hubs. You're getting to the lakes. You're looking 15 to 20 minutes depending on where you're going. Again, you've got Lake Sammamish, you've got Lake Washington, and then of course you've got Puget Sound that is in here as well. If we wanted to zoom out a little bit more, let's get rid of that and we won't draw on this one. But if you wanted to get to the mountain, Stevens Pass, you're looking like an hour and 15 minutes away up here on Highway 2. A little bit longer if you were going to go all the way to Snoqualmie Pass, but those would be your two easiest access in terms of getting to the mountains and the snow and doing all those snow sports and activities. I think that kind of covers the main drive times. We've got SeaTac, we got the airport, Seattle, Bellevue. If you want to jump on into more of Issaquah, you're still looking, once you get through Bellevue, it's pretty quick on I-90, maybe add another 5 minutes to some of those drive times. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what's around the Bothell area and how, centrally located it really is for you to get in and out of those major hubs. So that kind of covers the drive times. Let's jump into Bothell now and kind of look around and see what some of the, quote unquote attractions are or activities there are in the city limits of Bothell. All right. So here we are inside of Bothell. And the first one that pops out as we zoom in a little bit here is McMenamins. It's a pretty cool, let's see if we can get some pictures that pop up here. It's a pretty cool little restaurant and hotel as well. It's got a lot of history to it. It's a really fun place to go just for the night. It's a really fun place to go to host an event. It's a really fun place to go if the kids just got done with the sporting event and the team's just going out for dinner to celebrate as well. So that's one of a pretty cool, unique things about Bothell. At McMenamins. There's another one down in Portland, I believe, is where the other one is. I think there's another one around as well that I can't actually remember. The parks is something I touch on in the pros and cons video. So you can see North Creek Trail right here. Okay, very, very cool. As it says, it's paved. It's a massive trail for everyone to run, walk, hike on, essentially, but takes you all throughout Bothell. The other one you've got here is the Blythe Park, is going to be the other pretty cool park and trail system that you can get to inside of Bothell as well for kind of some of those outdoor activities. You've got the Cedar Grove Park as well. So, as I talked about, there's lots of trails, lots of parks, lots of hiking and biking, and outdoor activities all throughout the Bothell area and the King County area in general. In addition to those, you've got your Bothell High School will be right here as well, one of the larger schools in Bothell. Right up the road is the Popkini Stadium, which is just west of McMiniman. So a lot of the sporting events, soccer, football games are going to be happening right there. And again, these are all, as you can see on the map, just very, from an access standpoint, very easy to get to. You've got all these freeways coming right through there. The Beardsley Public House is a very cool spot here. Show you kind of what it looks like inside. Great food, great drinks, good people, of course. But I love this place. I just love the design actually inside is just very cool, as you can see by those pictures. So a very fun spot to go to grab a drink with friends as well. You've got all of your restaurants that are in there as well, as I kind of zoom in and out of these things. So of course, it's Bellevue's not a small city. You're going to have all of your restaurants and your shopping and your salons. All those things are going to be very easily accessible. You're not going to have to go anywhere to go and get those things done. The PCC is right here off the freeway. This is one of the, one of the main hubs, I would say. It's right off the freeway. So from an access standpoint, it's right there. PCC is already popular, but then its location, especially in Bothell, makes it a very popular spot to go and get the groceries. Okay. Costco is right up the road here as well for all that bulk shopping. I'm not going to go through showing you what Costco is. You know those. Costco's down here. You got your Fred Meyer. So from a shopping standpoint, everything is 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away tops to get everything that you need to. Okay. I think that covers most of your main places to go with inside in terms of living, inside of Bothell, your shopping centers, your parks, your schools, your parks being places to go out, bike ride and do those fun things, but also your football fields, your baseball fields, your soccer fields, all those as well, are all right centrally located there in Bothell. All right. Now let's also just jump into some of the housing data, housing information. So I actually pulled up in the MLS kind of just some of the actives so you can see what we're looking at in terms of housing prices right now. So we're pending right now at 1.5 up here and a little bit north, 400 2-bed, 2-bath over there, 700 3-bed, 1.75 bath, 1 million 4-bed. So we're kind of living in that, and I'll show you the data too, but we're kind of living in that, 800 to 1.2s, depending on where you're at and the types of houses or condos you're getting into in that Bothell area. If we look at the statistics a little bit more, we can see that the median sale price right now is just shy of $1 million in December. And I don't think I need to tell anyone. Obviously, the housing prices have just continued to increase all over the country, but specifically here in King County. And so we are seeing things start to level. We're not seeing that same rate of appreciation here, but it is still appreciating and it will continue to do that. So again, we are just shy of $1 million. We might be pushing that a little bit more now as we are into 2023. New listings are a little all over the place. Let me actually do a 1-year shot of this. Obviously, things have slowed a little bit, which is just normal at this time of year. Not everyone's wanting to move their kids or move their families when school's halfway through the year. So we will start to see a little bit more come on the market here as we get to the tail end of the school year, and that's just how the real estate market typically will work. Pending sales are down a little bit right now for the same exact reason I just said. Days on the market, all of that's going to be historically, it's going to be down a little bit, again, only because of where we are at in season. But this is the main driver for people kind of moving to the area. This is the median. This is going to be kind of the ballpark about what you're looking at. If we look at the average sale price instead of the median, we're a little bit higher. So not a ton higher. So it is a fairly well grouped data set, if you will. We don't have drastic changes, but there are going to be, as you saw in the other shot there of the homes, there are going to be your 1.5s and up, and then of course your condos and things are going to be a little bit lower. But when the median, the average are close like that, it's a pretty good representation of it. So you can kind of plan for give or take $1 million, depending on what you're looking for here in the Bothell area. And again, that's driven by the location. That's driven by the Google and Amazon and proximity to Seattle and Bellevue, and being able to kind of have that big city access, but being far enough away too that we have these trails. You have these hiking and biking and these massive parks, that you still get that outdoor and that you're in nature without being in the big city, and yet having some of those things. So it's a big draw. It's a very, very cool area. Bothell is just a fun spot to go and visit. If you don't already live there, it's a pretty cool area. So, all right, that's the end of our Bothell map video. I hope it was informative. I hope I didn't take too long, and I hope that you got something out of that and have a better idea of what it's like to be in Bothell and what is in and around Bothell. If you want more information about Bothell, make sure that you watch our vlog video where we kind of jump in and do a little bit more walking around, showing you what is in Bothell, getting some videos of downtown, and going and actually and looking at kind of some different price points there in Bothell as well in terms of your housing prices. And then of course, don't also forget to click on our pros and cons video, top 3 pros and cons of living in Bothell as well. As always, if you haven't already subscribed or clicked that bell for notifications, do that now so that you don't miss out. And then if you have any questions about living in Bothell or anywhere here in King County, we are here to help and make that as smooth a move as possible. So again, the link below is to schedule a call with us, or you can always just shoot us a DM, a message on all of our different social networks, social platforms. Hope to talk to you soon.